You shouldn't fall, but if you fall, you die.
So good.
What's next? We gotta do time for the plan the next one.
That was my question.
Yeah. What the heck am I doing with my life? Yeah. Yeah, I've been a professional triathlete for freaking ever, it seems like. My entire career, I've had dreams and imagination and a lot of stuff that I've wanted to get to and wanted to do, but I've kind of always been like, nope, if you want to go to the Olympics, if you want to make it as a pro triathlete, you gotta be serious and not go too crazy with adventure type stuff. So coming into this year, I'm like, I'm gonna do this. This is important. I'm gonna set it aside. I'm gonna treat it like a race. And the first step of that was scouting it. Scoping out the run was critical. You don't wanna be trying to go fast up an unknown mountain for the first time. The reason for doing this broken top FKT to try to get the fastest time up it is, it's almost like a not a why, but why not? I just like look up at that mountain every single day. It's the most striking mountain around here. I've had this in mind for like 2 years. Like every mountain around here is different from the others. Broken top starts out kind of mellow, and then from the saddle to the top is like hard to tell where you should go. The first time that I went up with my good friend Nate Youngs, and kind of the crux of this whole project as far as things that are out of my comfort zone is the top. The top is what they would call easy 4th, 5th class scramble. You shouldn't fall, but if you fall, you die. We decided not to do that part on the scouting mission. I still thought I might have another scouting mission to go. This was kind of like, let's just go check it out, see how it feels, run down the scree field. But I just kind of ran out of time this summer. I think I'm definitely a bit of a thrill seeker, and I'm an artist at heart, and I found my way into professional triathlon because it, you know, whatever, I was good at it, and I realized I've been like petrified of having a desk job, and triathlon gave me a means by which to not do that and live outside and do exercise for a living. But as far as like what the mind of a true professional, like world-class #1 in the world triathlete looks like, I think I'm like got too many dreams and stuff. And I love pushing the envelope. Like, so if there's not some degree of risk in it, I'm probably gonna get bored pretty quick. Okay, so what I did ultimately is I went after the Broken Top bottle shop to Broken Top Mountain and back down, round trip FKT. Just the fact that I had somebody around filming makes it supported. That's half of the whole point to me, is sharing this cool thing that I'm super excited about with people and seeing their faces light up when I tell a story about it. So I'm totally happy to have the supported thing, even though I carried all my own stuff the entire way. Carried my own bike lock, my own food, water bottles, flask with a filter on it and everything. All right, so basically I've got a route for up Mrazek, a route for down Mrazek, and then I've got a route that I'm making for the run. Total day is 100K, like 96K maybe, and like 7,500 feet of elevation gain. I've been back from Europe for like 2 days. I've ridden my mountain bike 1 time in the last month, but this is my last opportunity this day to do this summer, which was, like I said, one of maybe 2 goals that I put on my calendar for this summer, to say like, I really want to do this and I really want to do this. And this is the one that was eluded me last year, and I didn't want to let that happen again this year. So on extremely short notice, threw this plan together that I had made about a month ago before going to Europe, and set off on this epic adventure about half as prepared as I would like to have been.
Okay, so we're here at Broken Top Bottle Shop and we're going to the top of Broken Top Mountain. We'll be back here in 95 kilometers, 7,000 feet of elevation gain. Time to beat, 8 hours, 1 minute, 48 seconds.
Whoa, let's go.
The first couple miles, first like 3 miles of the course are on asphalt. Rolling from the bottle shop, you climb a little bit, you head out on Shevlin Park Road, and then you make a left and go into actual Shevlin Park. Then you ride through Shevlin Park, which is still on asphalt, and then the beginning of the trail starts at Mrazek, which is just right at the back of Shevlin Park, and you stay on that trail the entire way. When I did the course scouting, it took me about 2 hours and 20 minutes to make it, or to the top of the bike part, to transition one is what I'm gonna call it. And I had pulled up on my bike computer, basically split my fastest time up Mrazek relative to where I was on the day of the effort. And I was really targeting to be basically 5 minutes slower up Mrazek than I was in my course scouting, because when I got to the top of the thing in the course scouting, I was pretty wrecked. At the top of Mrazek, I was about 7 minutes behind the time that I did in the scout, which was totally acceptable. I still felt fine. My legs were just starting to get a little bit tired. Cross the bridge, and then you're on Metolius Wendigo. And that is actually the steepest, hardest part of the whole thing. A bunch of like probably 16, 17% stuff on trail that look down at like 450 watts just to continue moving forward and stay on the bike. Try to ride this as smoothly as possible. Try to minimize that high torque, because that's just gonna like take time off of the run. The bike is just about as smooth as possible. Slam as many calories as possible, because who knows what I'm gonna be able to get in my body once the run actually starts. I think the coolest part about that entire bike ride is actually when you turn off of Metolius Wendigo and you get onto the fire road that takes you to the Broken Top trailhead. It's like you've been in the trees for 2 hours, just like staring at your handlebars, staring at the trees, trying to ride these like flat uphill corners as best as you can, and then you just like pop out onto the moon is what it feels like. And all of a sudden you can see this craggly, like Mordor-esque mountain up in front of you. And I don't know, that's just, it's like, I'm here, I've arrived, I just gotta make it along this fire road, but you can finally see the thing that you've been working towards for 2 hours. Coming up on 2.5 hours.
All right, see you later, dude.
So my strategy for transition was to actually have 2 different bags. So I rode up with a mountain bike backpack, and inside of that I had my ultra or like run pack or whatever already loaded with 2 bottles. And then I was gonna just take my 2 picky bars, throw them in the ultra pack, lock up my bike instead of having to like transfer any water or move bottles around or anything like that. So I think I was a little bit too confident on the transition, thinking like, I'm a triathlete, this is the spot I'm gonna bring back time. And I completely forgot to take the 2 picky bars out of the main backpack and put them into the ultra pack. And I didn't realize it until it was too late.
Shit. I just realized I forgot to eat a bar. Had the trail, had shit. Had a picky bar that's caffeinated. That's gonna be like my main solid food. And it's like lunchtime. Starting to get hungry.
Plan for the run was to meet Nate somewhere on the run route, and I texted him when I was in T1 and just said, hey, I'm running out now. And he texted me back and said, cool, I'll see you at the saddle. Which, in the moment, I didn't have any idea what he was talking about.
Okay, I think I might have just ruined the whole day. I followed the same route that the guy who has the record did, not really realizing that it just cut off where Nate's probably waiting for me. And going back would be backtracking like 2 miles straight down. I just don't know if he's waiting there or if he's gonna wait for me somewhere else. So I'm just like walking up, trying to decide. That's the top right there.
I'd done Broken Top from the main trailhead that most people run from, and this was a little bit of an alternate trailhead that's hard to get to because of the fire road that goes into it. And I looked at the route that the previous fastest known time holder had taken, and instead of going all the way to the bottom of the Broken Top summit trail, he basically turned off like 500 meters, 600 meters or something early and ran straight up this gravel, just wash.
Okay, I flipped, I went back down for a minute, then I got a text from him saying, see you on the saddle. I don't even know what he's referring to. So now I'm running back up, hoping the saddle is what I think it is. Like 10 or 15 minutes just burned. Ha!
I flip and run about 5 minutes down the trail before then having a second crisis, thinking like, he's an adult, he's the chillest guy I know. Like, if I have not come this entire way for this to just be a total throwaway. Like, this is my one day of the year to do this before I have to go on the next trip, and the snow might snow tomorrow. So I headed back up. And about 2 minutes later, I saw a pair of hikers, and they're like, oh, are you going for the record? Like, oh my God, finally get a little bit of good news.
Okay, fortunately, I made the right call. Going back up, I just passed 2 hikers, and they talked to Nate, hoping I can still get this. This is the brutal part. Just up on sand, basically.
I'm really glad that I connected with Nate. He had done the ridge line a couple more times since the last time that we ran together, the first time that I'd run it, and we get started and he's like, stay to the left. So we stay to the left. It's not as obvious, but it was like pretty consistent most of the way. And I feel like we went up that several minutes faster than we did in our initial scouting mission. So we got up to the furthest point that we'd been in the scouting mission and the beginning of this class 4, class 5 scramble, which was the entire reason Nate was there. That was a huge part of why I had such a dilemma standing on the trail. Like, I did not want to do this by myself. There's like 3 different sort of crux moments where you look at it and I'm like, no way. That's ridiculous. We're gonna go up that. Probably gave away several minutes on this process, but we agreed, Nate and I, that like we're gonna do this slowly since it's both of our first times, and being safe is the primary thing here, not speed. Just forget about speed.
Wow. Holy shit. That is sick.
Dude!
Getting to the top was by far like the best feeling I've had getting to the top of a mountain before, because it had this extra unknown thing. I've looked at it so many times. I've been so close before, and actually getting up there, we fully took a moment to take it in, and that part was not about speed.
Not so bad. Here, thank you. All right. Oh, that's the easy part. Now just go home.
No, I like standing there at the top, it felt like that was the victory. And it's like, all right, now I just go downhill. Like now is the fun part. Like, this is the fun reward part. And if I've paced myself properly and eaten properly, this should be enjoyable and what I'm like really good at.
This is shit.
I think everything was going pretty well. Got to the bottom of the scree field, emptied out our shoes because they get completely full. They're like an inch of sand in them from that. And then I split up with Nate because I was moving really well, and he was hurting. I'd say it was still going pretty well until about 3K to go, and then I just fully hit the wall. Like biggest bonk I have experienced ever. Like I'm on this mountain, I don't have service, I just need to get back to the bike and get some food in me.
Got about, I hope only like 2K. We really need that picky bar so bad. Just trying to keep my eyeballs working right now.
I did.
Oh no. I cost myself 15 minutes.
Oh no.
Otherwise I would have been bang on 220 like you thought. And I forgot my picky bar here.
Oh shit.
So, there was a little walk jog going on there at the end. Oh. This is what I imagine Ironmans feel like.
Oh yeah.
Except you're on a highway.
T2, getting back on the bike, primary mission was just get food. Found the picky bar in the pack as quickly as I could, shoved it into my mouth, started chewing it, and then went through the transition process. Got the bike unlocked, switched shoes, got back on the bike, and I was like, I am just gonna like start coasting, and hopefully, like as I'm riding down this fire road, my digestive tract is gonna come back online, and I'll be able to not crash into a tree. First 5 minutes of that ride were absolute agony, stabbing pain as this picky bar was like hitting my stomach and trying to, go somewhere. Luckily, the picky bar worked. As soon as I felt like I wasn't gonna throw up and my stomach didn't have a knife in it, I had the second one, and I was actually able to start ripping. The section from the fire road, Metolius Wendigo down to Mrazek is probably one of my absolute favorite things to do in Bend. It's old trail, it's a little bit lusher than all the lower stuff, and it's like heaven to me. So I was in my happy place, not feeling fantastic, but doing a thing that I really love and am good at, and yeah, unfortunately, I think I dropped Wadi.
Oh, whew. Always happy to make it through that.
Probably like the last 10 minutes of Mrazek, I started doing math in my head. because when I went off track and I lost that 15 minutes, 20 minutes going up to the summit, I thought that was kind of like the end of going under 7 hours. But I started trying to add up all the things. Like, I couldn't remember what time I started. I thought it was around 10, but I wasn't sure it was 10, 10:05, 10:10 or whatever. And this was gonna come down to like a couple minutes one way or the other to go under 7 hours. Yeah, I popped onto Shelvin Park Road, and right about there, actually I guess near the top of the climb, my friend Sam magically appeared with a GoPro out the window. My camera died, my phone was dead. I had no way to film anything. All the way back down Shelvin Park Road, I'm just like TT mode. And I'm still trying to do mental math and thinking that it's gonna be like within 1 minute. So like rip into in front of the bottle shop, hit stop, and then just like sit down on the curb.
How close? How are you feeling?
Terrible. That was very, very...
Was it a lot of really hard work?
Yeah. And some extra bonus dad work. Just do the picture here, right?
Gotta take a selfie. He's like, here I am.
Yeah, we had miscommunication, so I did like an extra like mile
Oh
on
no!
Broken Top up and down trying to figure out where he was. It's not his fault. He said the saddle, and I was like, yeah. And then I got out halfway up there, I was like, what is a saddle? I've only done Broken Top one time. Oh man, that's gonna be so close. If I miss sub 7 by like 2 minutes.
Oh, the traffic?
You should have gotten it because you're here by 5.
Did I text you right at 10?
So you started after 10, I think.
After
a few
10?
minutes after 10. So good.
What's the next? We gotta do time for plan the next one.
All said and done, I ended up going like 6:52. I had more than enough time to be sub 7, but kind of put the idea in my head of like, I think I could go under 6:30. Like this was not my best bike ride ever. I completely messed up this nutrition by forgetting the picky bars. I had the snafu with like trying to find Nate. If I do it again and Nate feels good and I feel good, like that run, I think I could probably take 20 minutes off of that. And so then it's like sub 6:30, closing in on 6 hours. So I think I'm gonna have to go back and do it at some point. But for a first FKT attempt, it was pretty magical.
Do you actually think you're injured?
This one might.
Yeah, I'm fine.
It's kind of
Been trying to get all of you.
Such a boy response.
We haven't talked in months, but that's alright. Was wondering if you wanted to go for a drive. I just need some fresh air and an old friend. I'm so glad that we started talking again. Yo, turn up the radio, I love this song. Remember when we used to stay up all night long?
Oh, that's the easy part.
How's a mom? The roads are so empty, this is so damn calm. If we stick on the highway, we can drive all night long. If it's fine by you, I'll take the passenger seat. We can drive around to the sky and see meat. If it's fine by you, I'll take the passenger seat.